Hello everyone and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. So today in this lecture we will going to understand the hazards from the natural sources. So in the previous lecture we have discussed the physical and chemical hazards. What are physical hazards, what are chemical hazards, and what kind of foodborne illness you get from these hazards. So now today we will going to understand the hazards from the natural origin. So there are many hazards from the natural origins that are found in the staple food of human diet, and the extent of the risk to human health is associated with the ingesting the natural toxic substance remains a scientifically debatable matter. So as we all know that these hazards are very harmful for humans. These hazards, they have a very uh, terrible effect, if I say terrible effect, on human health, and it invade the human health in various ways. Sometimes the diseases that we get from these hazards are curable, some are not curable, they are not preventable, and it leads to a death of a person. In the recent studies of US, it is estimated that among the six people, five people, one people always die. One person always die because of the foodborne illness. So, and from where we are getting this foodborne diseases or foodborne illness? From the hazards. So there are various and numbers of hazards that have a natural origin, means they are occur naturally, there is no man-made interference in it, means they are present naturally. And if it is taken or ingested by a human, it will deteriorate the condition or health condition of a human being. So many of the hazards from the natural origins, they are found in the staple food of a human diet. The food that we eat, the diet that we consume, it is present in that food. Okay, so the extent of the risk of human health that is associated with ingesting the natural toxic substance, it remains a scientifically a debatable matter. So all human is a complex matrix of chemicals. All human food is a complex matrix of chemicals, including carbohydrates. As we all know that our food is composed of different kinds of carbo nutrients. For example, carbohydrates are there, amino acids are there, fat, oils, pigment, enzymes, minerals, vitamins, and some of which may be toxic if consumed in large quantities. That is something to understand here. See, plant in a particular, it contains certain types of chemicals that are known to be toxic to both animals and humans. So ऐसा नहीं है that these carbohydrates, they are very useful, because without the nutrients our body cannot survive. But yes, there are certain chemical or complex matrix of chemicals that are present in the food, and that if taken in large quantity, so it can deteriorate the health of a humans. Even in the plants also, they contain certain types of chemicals, and these chemicals that a plant holds naturally, so they are toxic to both the humans and animals. And even these chemicals evolved in plants to protect them from insects, plant pathogens, and other organisms. So they play a very dual type of a function, because these chemical, one way it is harming the plants, it is harming humans and animals, but sometimes it helps also plant to protect them from different kinds of insects. Even these chemicals protect the plant from the plant pathogens and from the other organisms. So a small number of these chemicals, such as hydrazines, found in several mushrooms, are highly carcinogenic. So that is the one of the reason, whenever you purchase vegetables from the market, so it is always advisable to wash them very properly. And even when the farming is done, when harvesting is done of the different kinds of vegetables, so they undergoes from different types of processes of cleaning. then it is exported to the market, and sometimes they are exported directly, but you as a human should always wash the medicine, and that is the reason raw medicine, no, I'm saying medicine, no, vegetables, and these raw vegetables should not be consumed, because there are so many chemicals that are associated with it. So it is advisable to wash them properly, to cook them properly at a particular temperature, and then you consume it. Okay, if anything that is raw is not good for health, unless and until, yes, this food is made to be yeah, for example, with fruits are eaten raw because they are okay, so it is advisable, but certain vegetables are there, you cannot consume it in a raw form. Why? Because it will lead to the health deterioration. And one of the chemical that is found in several kinds of or types of mushrooms, that is hydrazines. So they are very highly carcinogenic, and it is very harmful for human health. Now, the next is a mycotoxins. So we all are aware of these mycotoxins. So these mycotoxins, they are found in food infected by certain types of molds and fungi. So these are certain toxic substances, mycotoxins. They are produced by fungi, that is mold, growing on a crop, or you can say they grow on grains in the field, or when they are stored, they are grown there. So if I write here that what is mycotoxin, so simple, mycotoxins is myco toxin. If we break the word, so what is the meaning of mycotoxins? So myco, this till here, it is known as of fungal origin. Okay, it is of fungal origin, and it is so toxic that they it if consumed by human, it will lead to have a very deteriorated it deteriorate the health of humans. So even they are present in some foods such as grains, dried beans, dried fruits, and coffee are more likely to be fungus or mold that produce toxins, are known as mycotoxins. Okay, so again I'm repeating what are mycotoxins. So mycotoxins, they are toxic substances that is produced by mold or fungi. And if we break the word, then myco means fungus and toxins means naturally produced poison. Okay, so mycotoxins, they are a secondary metabolites of fungi that are recognized as toxic to other life forms, and mycotoxin can be heat stable and not destroyed by canning or any other processes. Okay, so from where do you get these mycotoxins, and what is the history of? So the mycotoxins, I'm just writing it here. So mycotoxin, the term was first used in 1961. Mycotoxin, the first word was used in 1961. And in which country it was used? In England, and during which thousands of animal died in a veterinary crisis, and that is the time where the first term of mycotoxin was invented or used, and the disease was linked to a peanut meal incorporated in the diet contaminated with the toxin produced by filamentous fungus, that is aspergillus flavus, and from where the term is used. And it is basically when it was used there, so it means probably a means of protection from insect, and it was consumed by a number of animals. And during 1961 there was a veterinary crisis in England, and it leads to a death of thousands of animals. And we all know that these mycotoxins, they are very harmful one if consumed by humans. So the mycotoxins in human food that FDA currently focus on are alpha toxins, deoxy and nevalinol, fuminos, fumonisin, patulin, zearalenone. So these are certain mycotoxins or the types of mycotoxins that are present in human food. So mycotoxins, what they are basically, they are a fungal, it leads to a fungal contamination, and it deteriorate the quality of the food. And these myco these mycotoxins has a dietary risk assessment, and they have decontamination strategies, even the physical, chemicals and biological. And one thing that it cannot be removed through canning. So the first type of mycotoxins are alpha toxins. So alpha toxins, they are a mycotoxin that are produced by certain aspergillus mold. And alpha toxins is the name for the group of toxins. Toxins, we all know that it is a poisonous chemical compound that are produced by two fungi, that is aspergillus flavus and aspergillus parasiticus. So and these there are several types of alpha toxins that exist. But if we see the food contamination, it usually involves alpha toxins B1, B2, G1, G2, and for crops, and M1 for milk. So it is again very important, because in interviews, in examination, this questions always, as I'm marking it important, that it is one of the most important thing, that means alpha toxins that are harmful for crops. So there are B1, B2, G1 and G2, they are for crops, and M1 for milk. So there are environmental factors such as temperature, humidities, amount of rain affects whether the mold will grow on food while it is growing, or being harvested or sorted. So these are certain environmental factors that affects alpha toxins. And the food, they are more susceptible to alpha toxins include peanut, corn, trees, nuts such as Brazil nuts, even the pistas, and some small grains such as rice. So they are more likely to be affected by alpha toxins. Even one of the study shows corn has a large effect, or it comes under the if matlab majorly affected by alpha toxins. So alpha toxins, for example M1, it is also found in milk of cows, and eat that eat alpha toxins B1 contaminated crop. So that is the reason every raw milk is not advisable to drink. Why? Because it contains so much of toxin substance, like alpha toxins are there, M1. And it is always advisable to pasteurize the milk before you consume it, to boil the milk to a certain temperature, so that there should be no effect of any type of pathogenic effect. So it is advisable not to have milk, raw milk to be consumed, especially the childrens that are infant. So it is not advisable to give them even the cow milk also, because of the low digestion rate in here in infant or small baby. So regular eating foods with alpha toxins can increase the risk of liver cancer. So if a person is consuming a food that has a high quantity of alpha toxin and it is consuming on a daily basis, so it will lead to a health deterioration. For example, it will increase the risk of liver cancer. It can cause a birth defects. It can lead to the kidney diseases or immune system problems. Eating food containing a large amount of alpha toxins at one time or for several days can lead to a liver failure also, and sometimes a death of a person. So you should always think before eating. Because of these health risks, FDA has published a action level of alpha toxins and regular tests of foods for the presence of alpha toxins. By using modern agricultural processing techniques, companies can reduce the possibilities of contamination of their product. So it is all because of this high risk association with the use of alpha toxins or with the consumption of alpha toxins. So what FDA has done, so FDA has publish certain level action levels of alpha toxins. And if a regular test of foods should be done, so that if there is a presence of alpha toxins, so we can take a preventive measure to remove it. And by using the modern agricultural techniques, by using processing techniques, you can avoid the presence of alpha toxins, or you can remove the alpha toxin. So these are certain mycotoxins and their physiological effect. And it is again important to understand that there are certain types of mycotoxins that are present. For example, alpha toxins B1, B2, G1, G2, M1 and M2. M1 and M2, it deteriorate the quality of milk, whereas the B1, B2, G1, G2, it deteriorate the quality of crop. And these are the mycotoxins. And what is the producing organism? So the producing organism is aspergillus, and the chemical structure is the difuranocoumarin. And the effect on mammalian cell are carcinogenic, so they are very carcinogenic in effect. Similar is with the citranium. The producing organism is penicillin. And what is the effect is it has a new nephrotoxic effect. So as you can see, every mycotoxins, whether it's alpha toxins, whether it's a butylene, or whether it's a citrinium, then so every mycotoxins have an effect on mammalian cell, whether it's humans or animals. Sometimes the effects are carcinogenic, sometimes the effects are genotoxic, sometimes the effect is teratogenic. So as you can see, it has a physiological effect on mammalian cells. So mycotoxin can cause death, can cause respiratory problems, can cause reproductive problems. It can also cause liver, kidney and other organ damage. One of the most important, you can say, dangerous disease, that is cancer, that is lead from mycotoxin. It can also cause bleeding and birth defect. Now if we see this mycotoxins induce problems, and redness of eyes, if you have a frequently headache, if you have a nose bleeding, rashes in your body, muscle pain, joint pain, fever, coughing, so it all includes these problems. They are mycotoxins induced problems. Now what are the treatment? So mycotoxins poisoning is known as mycotoxicosis, and there is no cure for mycotoxicosis. So antibiotics and drugs have a little effect. And the best treatment is to stop the exposure of mycotoxins. So there is no any medication that is associated with mycotoxins, but yes, there is the best treatment is to stop the exposure of to mycotoxins. So this is the treatment. So for that is the reason, since they are naturally occurring and you cannot do anything, but yes, you can avoid, you can stop the exposure of mycotoxins, and we can avoid this, and by avoiding this, uh, so we can lower the effect of mycotoxins. Now coming to the last, that is what we get the conclusion. So as we know that mycotoxins toxicology has brought out many adverse effect in human health, and they have many outbreaks have occurred all over the world and costing many lives. If carefully observe these toxication, and so they can be prevented, means if you closely monitor the toxication, so we can always monitor or we can always, sorry, we can prevent this toxication. Still many new methods of preventing the toxin can be found out in the different types of industries, because of the many industries, as I have mentioned here, if you have seen this, different types of machineries should be used, so that you can avoid the presence of mycotoxins. Means modern agricultural or processing techniques, if a company can use, if industries can use, so they can avoid this. And these risk has no the only thing that you can avoid is the only way to avoid from these disease is to stop the exposure. So that's all about the lecture. Let us understand what all we have covered so far. So the simple in examination, they can ask you, name any one naturally occurring toxins or hazards. So the example you can give is hydrazines. So hydrazines, again I'm repeating, they are found in several mushrooms, and they are very highly carcinogenic. One of the important question that every year in examination or in your interviews, it comes is mycotoxins. What do you understand by mycotoxins? So myco means fungus and toxins means poisoning. And what are the foods that have mycotoxin effect? Or so there are certain foods like grains, dried beans, dried coffees, and even the you can say corn is highly exposed to mycotoxins. So this is one of question that can be asked. Then they can ask you about the different types of mycotoxins, and one of the you can say majorly produced a type of mycotoxins is alpha toxins. So they can ask you what are alpha toxins, and these alpha toxins they are produced by which type of mold. So this the answer is aspergillus molds. And they can ask you that there are certain types of alpha toxin that exist, but but food contamination is usually occur through B1, B2, G1, G2 for crops, and M1 and M2 for milk. What are the environmental conditions that affect the alpha toxins? Are the temperature, humidity, and the amount of rain effects. So these are certain important questions that can be asked. Again, these are the types, and how you can avoid or you can stop the exposure of alpha toxins. So the answer is by using any modern agricultural or processing techniques. A company can reduce the possibilities of contamination in their product. And regular monitoring of the food, even the regular monitoring of the students, it can also reduce the risk of any kinds of natural toxins. Since if you got to know, yes, it has a mycotoxins effect, or if it has alpha toxins effect, so you take a certain preventive measure. So that could only be possible because of the regular monitoring. Okay, so mycotoxins, what are the causes of mycotoxins? So death and different kinds of diseases like respiratory, reproductive, kidney, liver, and other organ damage, even cancer, bleeding, birth defect. So all is caused by mycotoxins. So mycotoxins induce problems. It includes the red eyes, headache, nosebleed, rash, muscle pain, joint pain, fever, coughing, and redness of the eyes. So it will leads to a mycotoxins induced problems. And the next is the treatment. So there is no certain type of medicine that is been made for the treatment of mycotoxins. So you can tell that there is no such, but yes, the only way of the treatment of mycotoxins is to stop the exposure, okay, to the mycotoxins. So that's all about the lecture. If you have any queries, so you can simply leave your queries in the comment section below. You can follow ITLS Academy on different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. Subscribe ITLS Academy. If you want to get our app, you can directly get it from the Google Play. This is our website, that is www.itlsacademy.com. You can simply visit our website to get updated regarding any courses you want to join. And this is our helpline number, that is 7080833450. So you can simply call on this number and get updated. And yes, this is our WhatsApp number also, so you can simply leave your queries, and we will update you regarding that queries. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And yes, don't forget to press the bell icon to get more update on the lectures. Thank you so much.